Ladies and gentlemen,
This is Gamertag Radio.
So we're live here in Los Angeles, and once again, now I'm spending more time. I'm playing Dying Light: The Beast here, and we have
Tymon Smektala, franchise director for the series.
Yeah, I know we spoke. Man, that was like maybe 2 years. Was it a year ago? 2 years ago?
I think a year ago.
A year ago, yeah. You were here. Talked a little bit about the game. There was not much to see.
Yes.
But I've been seeing you guys were at Summer Game Fest showing the game, and also it was playable. And this one is a longer hands-on event now. So what are the things now? This time are you showing to those who are seeing it for the first time?
Yep. So the preview that you are playing is basically the opening of the game. Maybe not the literal opening because there's like one part, like about an hour of the game that. Like we kind of keep under wraps to not spoil anything for the viewers, for the players. But this is a very early stages of the game. You are playing about 4 main quests, so quite a sizable chunk of the main story, where you get to kind of see how it feels to go back into the shoes of Kyle Crane, and also encounter some of the first people that he meets on that adventure. You are encountering a character named Olivia. Olivia helps Kyle escape from Baron's lab, so the lab in which he has been held captive for a number of years and experimented upon. And then the open world of Castor Woods opens, and you basically get to have fun with the systems and see how they feel like in the early stages of the game. Of course, the more you progress, the more skills you have, the balance changes a little more towards what you're experiencing. But I hope like that was the goal for us, that the first initial hours set the tone for the whole experience, a tone which is focused on kind of surviving on a tougher difficulty, on a game where you have to use all of the skills that you have to basically be able to see the next day.
Yeah, the main character, Crane, he very different. I know during the presentation you mentioned half human, half beast.
Yes.
That also is he gonna get worse? Because I noticed in the game, there's certain things that I noticed sometimes he couldn't control it, but is that gonna get even worse for him? Is it gonna be even more difficult to control him in the
So it's like the old Jay-Z album, A Gift and a Curse.
Yeah, Gift and a Curse.
Because this is I think this is the axis of the whole story. This is the axis of how the narrative unfolds. So he was experimented upon. There's the nemesis of the game. The villain of the game is a guy named the Baron, and he captured Kyle because of some of his special abilities and experimented upon them and kind of highlighted and made the transformation, the state in which Kyle is between a human and a beast stronger and more emphasized. And at first, Kyle, like he's rebelling against it. He's not really happy that he's kind of losing his identity, that he's losing the part of the human that he was. But he also realizes that actually he needs to get stronger and he needs to get into the beast mode a lot to get a chance at taking his revenge on Baron. So this is something that goes throughout the whole narrative. He's kind of a little bit for it, a little bit against it. At some point, sorry, no spoilers, but definitely what he embraces, and I hope players will embrace that too, is the powers, the abilities that he gets with this transformation. So he basically turns into this character that can run faster, jump higher, deal lots of damage with just his bare hands, like be really brutal about it, grab zombies by the skull, just crush it with one pull of muscles, rip them apart, rip limbs, rip heads, really getting brutal against the world and ultimately also against the Baron.
Yeah, this is a very different than the first two games. Why the change? Why did you guys decide to go to this route? I feel like the first game to me was more gameplay than story than the second game. Story was there, gameplay was there, but I feel like this is the better game. So there was a lot of lessons learned from you and the team. Why the change?
We have learned a lot from both games, and I think this allowed us to kind of fully understand what Dying Light is about. So first of all, the previous games, they allowed us to build a foundation on which we can start building like subsequently later on. And the Beast is kind of this. We take all of the lessons from Dying Light 1 and Dying Light 2, Stay Human, and we see how we can expand the foundation. And actually the Beast-like powers, the Beast mode, is one of those ideas where we have a character who's like a master survivalist. He's like the prepper of preppers. And we put him in a context in a game which like on the surface, is a classic survival game where everything tries to kill you, where you see just one zombie and it's a tough challenge. Like you don't really want to get into too many risky situations. We want you to actually start using your brain a little bit more than just your muscles, because we want you to think about what I would do in this situation, what it takes for me to survive in this or that occasion situation. But at the same time, we also wanted to see if we can put a twist on that formula, because the classic survival formula is, people know this, everything is against you, everything is out there to get you, and you're just barely trying to survive. You move slower, you have less resources, you deal less damage than everything around you. We wanted to see if we can do something else, and then we said, okay, let's keep that, but then maybe we could have those moments where you actually turn the tables, and now it's your time to say, I'm the man, like I'm the one that rules the space. We found that extremely satisfying, the kind of the switch where that happens, and we also found out that it creates a lot of very interesting emotions in players' heads, because imagine that you are being chased by zombies and they're right behind you and they're just almost trying to get you, and in a classic Dying Light game, there's a moment where you say, like, I will not get away. Like, okay, just get me, right? And with beast mode, there's always a hope that if you just survive 5 more seconds, 10 more seconds, maybe you'll be able to actually trigger that. So this builds a very nice, a lot of very nice moments in gameplay, which you remember because they created some kinds of emotions in your head, and this is something that really adds to the overall experience.
And what you can tell us now about the enemies, how much that has changed from the previous 2 games, and at nighttime too, is it the stronger, smarter? What do you tell us about that?
So there's a number of kind of classic elements to Dying Light gameplay, and those classic elements that, yes, we have day and night cycle, and the day and night cycle significantly changes the rules of the game. So during the day, you see mostly the slow-moving zombies, sometimes the faster ones as well, but they're generally weaker, not as strong. So you feel like you are in control. You feel that if you play it smart, if you use everything that kind of all of your accessories, all of your weapons in the way they are meant to be used. If you have firearms, you just don't shoot them mindlessly, you shoot them where you really want to shoot them, you're in control, you're good, like you will survive. But then when the night comes, the volatiles come out, like our apex predators, the kings of the night as we call them. And this is a completely different type of game, because then you basically just one hit and you die. Like those guys are basically invincible. So this definitely is there, but I would say it actually also benefits from the new environment that we have in the game. It's like a lot of forest, a lot of farm fields, a lot of empty spaces, and when you are in an environment like that, and when you are being chased by the volatiles, you suddenly realize, fuck, I have no place to hide, right? Like I have no place where that could give me safety. So this really, like the feeling of this increased fragility of the main character, how vulnerable you feel, this really adds to the experience. In terms of enemies, we didn't want to reinvent the wheel, so we have kept all of the classic kind of archetypes that we had in previous games. But of course, like we did a number of design tweaks, changed some parts of the AI code to make their behaviors a little bit more responsive. There's a new approach to physics, so you will see that all of the hits are very physical when you hit them. Some tweaks to the visual design. We feel that, for example, the volatiles, the guy that you see here, he's so iconic, like we don't really want to change him. But yes, we use the fact that right now our technology is a little bit more advanced, that the current PCs, consoles are a little bit more stronger, so there's a bigger number of details on how they look, on kind of their appearance in the game. What we did new for Dying Light the Beast is a number of boss fights that we have introduced, and those boss fights, they come in the form of enemies that we call the chimeras, and chimeras are creations of the Baron. So he is kind of like the mastermind that experiments with human DNA, zombie DNA, and he creates those killing machines, chimeras. And their visual design is inspired by a number of things, I would say, but mostly I would say anatomy books and the anime Attack on Titan. So you see like the skinless muscles out, like very kind of body horror type of visual design. And in terms of gameplay, like we kind of tried to have a go at a classic kind of boss fight formula. So each of those boss fights, they have different phases. As you progress within the boss fight, the enemies get more behaviors, they kind of getting more and more dangerous. Sometimes they surprise you with something that you didn't expect from the initial phase. So there's a number of those encounters in the game. We wanted to make each one of those a little bit different, like introducing some new mechanics, some new feel. We'll see how players will react to that.
Yeah, I know briefly you mentioned something about co-op. What you could tell us a little bit more about how's that going to play out once you have 4 players? Right?
Yes.
Are they going to have different characters, same characters?
So it's 4-player session. We decided to allow our players to have some fun. So you basically play the same character. Like Kyle Crane is such important for this game that we said it's okay. Let's have 4 Kyles in the game. But of course you can customize the look of your Kyle Crane. So like you don't run with 4 lookalikes. Each one of you can look differently. But because you are controlling Kyle, it means that all of you have access to the beast mode. So there are very cool moments where all of you trigger it at the same time, and you can really demolish basically everything in front of you. Of course, we are using a number of tricks to make sure that the game stays challenging as much as possible. So we are kind of tweaking the damage values for enemies, health values for enemies, how we spawn the enemies. So we make sure that each one player in the session has a sufficient number of zombies going at him. We also play with how the zombies and other enemies, also human enemies, because we also do have them, react to a group and behaviors that they sport. So for example, there's a bigger chance of them doing 360 attacks or area of effect attacks, which don't really make that much sense when you are alone in the group, when you are alone in the session. But then when you have 4 players attacking a chimera from all sides, it makes much more sense for this monster to actually do like a 360 to clear the area around him. So we are trying to keep the game balanced and challenging. Of course, like when you have 4 human brains in a game, they will always find a way to break the game and kind of exploit it a little bit. But we said, okay, like guys, please have fun. Like this is our playground. This is the zombie playground of Dying Light that we give to you. Have fun with it. It's okay if you sometimes maybe break the game, overpower the game. We don't want to fight with it too much. And because of that, I would say this is like a game of 2 halves. When you play it alone, it's like a really very immersive, proper survival horror experience. You're really in the shoes of Kyle Crane. You feel like you are in this world, totally focused, like you're in the zone. In co-op, it's just pure fun, just running around, fighting with zombies, helping each other. Lots of good stuff.
Yeah, right now I haven't really been messing around a lot with my weapons. I know you could customize it. What is your favorite type of weapon that you're messing around and upgrading and customizing it?
I don't want to come off as too sadistic, but actually what I like a lot about the game is the new flamethrower, something that we haven't introduced in any of the previous games. And actually going around a zombie apocalypse with a flamethrower, this is really like proper grill times.
It's been fun, man. Like playing this, seeing the changes you guys been making throughout the games and everything, man. What do you think was it like the hardest part on making these changes to not only satisfy the studio to the team, but also the fans? Because they've been very vocal about especially the previous game.
So like this was like, you will not believe what I will say right now, but I need to say it because basically that's true. Like for us, for the Beast, there wasn't that many hard things. Like for some reason, there's like a very special aura about this game for us, and it seems everything just goes like seamlessly. Everything just clicks. Like the worst thing that I experience is that I actually have the ugly cough that I kind of make so apologies for that, but really the AC in Los Angeles is crazy for me, so I'm not turning into a zombie, but really it has, of course I can't say it was all just smooth sailing because game development is never like that, but this is definitely the kind of the easiest development process that we have ever experienced. And it seems that everyone on the team is so passionate, so excited about bringing Kyle back and having this Dying Light game in a new environment, such a beautiful environment, a really kind of nice looking handcrafted open world, using all of the advancements that we have in our engine. Everything just clicks. So for us, it's really the I would say it's like I like a metaphor, but still it's like a very, very smooth ride, and we enjoy it very much. And of course, you also mentioned the players. It's hard to satisfy our fans because they are very demanding, and actually they also taught us a lesson that for Dying Light game, it's very important to look at the details. You look at a screenshot, you look at a video on YouTube, and you see like a Dying Light experience, and you might just think, okay, like there's just a guy running with a machete and fighting with zombies. But actually there are so many details in the physics of the heat reaction, in things like how the wind sways the trees in the background, how the sun moves on the horizon. actually the players, the community helped us to understand how important all of those details are, and we really wanted to make sure that every little thing that our players liked in Dying Light 1 and Dying Light 2 Stay Human is brought back for Dying Light the Beast. Hopefully they will see that and they will appreciate that.
I noticed that when I was playing, I was having a conversation with someone, and I noticed there was like a choice for me to decide which I had to pick like as an answer. Is that something where, based on those choices, it changed the narrative or like the story, or this is more of like just a conversation to learn more about whatever mission or quest you're in the process?
So definitely we approach the choices in dialogues more like the second format that you said in your question. So the additional questions, additional
Sorry, it's okay.
The additional dialogue lines are for basically learning more about the world and kind of getting more information, more details about what's happening. Why? Because we wanted the Beast to tell a canon version of Kyle Crane's story. And there's also a reason for that. Like, that's exactly the questions that we have been asked for many years after the release of the first game. What's the canon version of Kyle's story? What happened to him after the events of Dying Light? We decided that if we have branching choices in the answer that we are providing to the players, then we'll still won't have the answer, because the canon will be different for each and every player. And with the Beast, we wanted to answer that question, answer the questions, kind of open questions from Dying Light 1, but also Dying Light 2 Stay Human. So this is a canon kind of take on Kyle Crane's story, which explains everything that happens, but also puts Kyle at a very specific part at the end of the game. Have some plans moving forward for the franchise, so we wanted to make sure that Kyle is where we want him to be. So that's why we decided to go for a more linear and structured story that exactly tells the things that we want to tell with it.
One thing that I do love about you guys is the amount of content the release after the release of the game keeps the fans still engaged with the game. Are there anything where you guys are still planning to do similar to like the previous games? Like, yeah, we got stuff coming in the future after release, or what?
So I think Techland will be Techland, right? And that's safe to say. Like, this is the approach that you have just mentioned. I think this is something that we believe is the approach that makes us stand out in the market. So I don't think that will change, but to be honest, like, we are focusing on the launch right now. So we are not talking about post-launch plans. We are not revealing anything just yet. We just want to make sure that we are 100% focused on the actual launch. I think that's also another learning from Dying Light 2 Stay Human, where maybe the launch wasn't as good as it should have been. Maybe it has some kind of wobbliness to it. So we don't want to have that wobbliness, definitely. So the focus is on launch. Then we'll see where the players' interests are. Of course, we have our own plans, what we can do with the Beast as well, but we'll see like what's the voice of the community, and maybe we'll just tweak those ideas. And also I think it's also important to say that we plan to support all of the games, all of the Dying Light games moving forwards. Dying Light 1 will get some, Dying Light 2 definitely will get more support, at least for the next 2 years. And Dying Light the Beast, as I said, we're not talking anything right now.
No concept.
Exactly. Let's just focus on the launch and yep.
Well, my last question is up to you. You want to answer this or not? But I remember I'm a handheld guy. I love taking out my device, play my games. I remember playing the first Dying Light on the original Switch. I believe it was available there. That was really cool seeing that. Is there a potential? Is there for the new system, Nintendo Switch 2, where you guys could bring the Beast, which I could definitely see this on that device? Is that something maybe you guys are looking into it, or what?
You circle around so much, but so on the launch, the game releases on PC, PS5, Xbox Series S and X.
Yeah.
But I would love to see the Beast on Switch too. I think this is a great platform. I'm actually, like, today I have ordered my copy of Bonanzas.
You did, nice. That's good. That's good.
Like, I'm very much into it, and I do agree that the Beast would make a great game for Switch 2. So hopefully this will happen at some time, but like, nothing to announce as of yet.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for the interview.
So
I'm
much.
glad that I'm really enjoying this game, man. Can't wait to play the full version of the game.
Good stuff. Thank you so much.
No, great job to you and to you guys, man. The whole team. It's all good. Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.